Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. I'm taking a little break from my Best of 2024 series today to share a update on my current candle collection. If you are newer to my channel, you're probably not aware of this, but I have been on a little bit of a journey to whittle down my once formerly very extensive candle collection. I used to own several hundred candles. It was a lot of candles. It was probably more than several hundred. And I have now been working for several years to kind of get this little home fragrance hobby of mine under a little bit more control, if you will. If I am going to take it back to the beginning here, I think that I really started collecting candles around 2011, 2012. This was right around the time that I was pregnant with my daughter. A pregnancy wasn't super easy, and also at that time, my brother, who is living in Australia, got into a really horrific motorcycle accident, and I think I was really kind of overwhelmed at that point in time. I was so excited about being pregnant, but so concerned about my brother, and I wasn't really able to be with him at that time. He was halfway across the world, and I was very sick during the beginning of my pregnancy, so it was just like, it was not an easy time, and I kind of needed something else positive to focus on. And I had always enjoyed home fragrance up until that point. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get into this a little bit more. And boy, did I ever. I let my home fragrance hobby get completely out of control, you guys. Like I said, at one point, there were several hundred candles in our house. In 2018, we actually sold our first home together and bought this house here. I was really excited at the time because this house was more than twice the size of our first home. And so part of me was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have so many more areas to store all of these candles. But the part that was really eye-opening to me actually was we moved into this house. I started unpacking all of these candles, which, by the way, I moved by myself from our house because I didn't trust the movers with the boxes of candles. I have a Dodge Grand Caravan, the kind where all of the seats fold into, you know, the bottom of the vehicle, essentially. So it's a big, wide open area in the back. It's a great van for delivering flowers. It's also a great van for moving candles, let me tell you. So I took up probably 1.5 vanfuls of just candles, and I'm talking the boxes were like several high in my van. I packed them in there, and it was such a process moving all of those candles. I'm proud to say not a single one broke during the move, but it was a pain in my butt. And then I started unpacking them, you guys, and I filled up the area where I first thought I could put them all. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I have to put them elsewhere. And I did. I started squirreling them away everywhere in the house. I would open closets, I would open drawers, I would open cabinets, I would open pieces of furniture that we own, and I would find candles everywhere. And it was at that point that I finally had a little come to Jesus meeting where I was like, oh, this is a lot. This is a lot. Now, before we actually moved back in I think it was 2016, 2017, Mercari was kind of a big thing. And even before we thought about moving, I was like, I have a lot of Bath & Body Works candles, and I'd like to make my money back on some of these. So the more popular scents that I had, I ended up selling on Mercari. I also had a bunch of older Yankee candles that I sold on Mercari, and I made so much of my money back because a lot of these scents were highly sought after. People were willing to pay more than what I actually purchased the candles for. I didn't sell them for like completely outrageous prices. I wasn't one of those people on Mercari, but I definitely, you know, made sure that I made at least my money back in terms of what I paid for the candles, and that, you know, all of the shipping was covered as well. So anyway, sold probably a couple hundred of just Yankees and Bath and Body Works that way. And once I started getting scammed by buyers through the app, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So once we moved here, I started the process of gifting out a lot of my candles to my friends and family. And that was how I got rid of kind of another big chunk of candles in my collection. And then also, you will have seen this over the last few years here. I have been actively crocking and lamping a lot of my candles as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link a video in the description box down below entitled Candle Crock and Candle Lamp 101. That's gonna teach you about both of those candle accessories. I will also link some crocks and lamps that I use myself that I think are fantastic quality. And that is how I have really made, I think, the biggest dent in the remainder of my collection. Again, as I am burning things, and if I just don't like a candle, or, you know, maybe it was like a PR item that was gifted to me and I don't necessarily want to finish it because it doesn't float my boat, like those candles I put into a box for my friends to pick through. I have a lot of friends who enjoy home fragrance, not to the degree that I do. They're not going candle shopping with me, but they will always take my freebies. So that is how I have gotten through a lot of these candles. Is one, I sold a bunch. Two, I give a bunch away. Three, I continue to give things away. And then I also crocked and lamped. And that is how I have finally gotten to a place, you guys, where everything fits into the closet at the end of this hallway just outside this door here. I did it, you guys. Everything fits in there and it's organized, it's neat. I know what I have, and when I go to look for something, I'm literally only gonna walk to one place. I no longer have to walk around the house opening 15 different cabinets trying to find the dang HomeWorx candle that I wanna light. It's all in the closet, and I am so beyond just pleased with myself. And I have now made a commitment that I will never let a hobby kind of get a hold of me the way that the home fragrance hobby did. I think part of it is it's just, you know, my personality. When I find something that I love, I just am in it with my whole heart, right? Like I'm super passionate, and when I find something that makes me happy, I just want to do that thing all the time. Life can be very difficult, and if you can find things that bring you a little bit of joy here and there, I just don't think that there's anything better, but you have to be really careful. And when you start to feel overwhelmed with a hobby, you need to do something about it. I am not judging anyone that has extensive candle collections, because at one point that made me incredibly happy, and that was what I needed at that point in time. But it got to the point where it was no longer making me happy. It was overwhelming me, and I needed to do something about it. So as much as it sucked having to pull back and not buying the things that I know I love in bulk, that still gives me anxiety. I mean, every time that I place a candle order, I am still tempted to add 8 of my favorites to the cart, but I just can't do that anymore. There are very, very few exceptions that I will make when it comes to purchasing backups of things at this point. Here's the thing, and this is something that just everybody needs to kind of come to terms with. Candle companies will always be putting out new fragrances. A lot of times they also re-release old favorites periodically. Just because your favorite fragrance in the whole wide world might be discontinued doesn't mean that you're not going to find something equally amazing to replace that old favorite of yours. Candle companies are always going to be cranking out new products. This is a massive growing industry. The home fragrance industry is exploding, you guys. We are going to have more candles to choose from than we know what to do with. In fact, I think we're kind of there right now, but there are more and more companies coming online. There will always be something amazing to purchase. So just because, you know, you have this mentality of like, oh, if I run out, like it'll be, you know, the end, like I'll never be happy again. That's just, it's not the case. You'll always find a new candle to be able to enjoy. So if you want to make the change of whittling down your candle collection, I encourage you. If you want to keep collecting candles because that's what makes you happy, do that. I want everyone to just be happy with their hobbies. And if your hobby is overwhelming you, just know that you can do something about it. So it will always be a hobby of mine. I will always have a certain number of candles in that closet, but I don't need 500 candles. I just don't. So anyway, I hope that this little intro here was helpful to those of you that are kind of looking to make a change. Hopefully this encourages you, to kind of think about starting this during 2025. Listen, if I can do it, you can do it. I love collecting things, and if I manage to get to this point, you can manage to get to this point. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head out in the hallway and let's take a look at what my candle collection looks like during this first week of January 2025. I will also link what this closet looked like the last time that I shared an update in January of 2024 in the description box. So if you'd like to be able to compare, you can do that, but let's go ahead and let's check it out. All right, of course the heater just kicked on, so hopefully the background noise isn't too crazy loud, but welcome to the closet at the end of the upstairs hallway here. This was, I think, originally intended to probably be a linen closet or something. I have just used it for random storage since we've lived here, so it was kind of the perfect location to use for storing my home fragrance. So I did need to keep in mind that part of this closet needed to function for my off-season Scentsy warmer storage as well. I have a lot of Scentsy warmers, not as many as some people do, but I do have quite a bit. I'm actually getting ready to, I took out most of my like year-round warmers already when I was kind of organizing this closet yesterday, but I need to still put all of my holiday warmers back in here. So yeah, I will be dismantling the Christmas decor this weekend as well. So anyway, the top 3.5 shelves are for Scentsy storage. There are some other containers up there that just hold some older like pillar candles, some votive candles, things like that as well. And then as we scroll down here, I'm going to take you guys through each part of the collection here. So pardon me while I move the camera around. So this is what I have left for my Yankee candle collection here. Obviously, I have one sugared apple and then I have 2 pumpkin wreaths. Next to that, closer to the wall, are 4 Nest spiced orange and clove candles that I recently picked up this year at Nordstrom Rack. I have 1 Nest holiday candle left over, as well as 1 Henry Bendel vanilla bean. So that is it for the Nest and Yankee collection. Those are quite small. Nest, I typically kind of just buy what I need during a given season. Nest candles are getting to be quite expensive, and they also don't have very good lids on them. They just come with like a plastic dust cover. So since those don't come with a better lid, I just don't feel like I should be buying those like years in advance anyway. So yeah, I will just buy what I need from Nest any given season. But let's go ahead and go down to this level here, which I think I am most proud of because this is actually what I was working on the most this past year, the HomeWorx collection. And this shelf here is all that I have left in terms of HomeWorx. So let's go through. I have 2 farm stand peaches, 2 or actually 3. I have 3 farm stand strawberries. I have 2 farm stand blueberries. I have 2 of the blueberry cheesecakes. I have 1 random lily of the valley there, a sugared lychee martini, and a vanilla bean macaron. So that is it in terms of all of the spring and summer HomeWorx candles that I have for backups, if you will. So guess who gets to enjoy making some purchases from HomeWorx again for the spring and summer this year? This guy. Super excited about that. But also just excited to continue to enjoy what I have left here, because they are all fantastic fragrances and definitely will be considered holy grail fragrances for me. Now, I'm not necessarily going to go through all of the rest of these here, but I do have a couple of praline pecans. I have some, let's see, what's this one here? Spiced vanilla pumpkin. There's quite a number of hot cider donuts. There's some autumn pumpkins, some harvest leaves, some spiced apple crumb. Sorry, this might be really loud because I'm like right next to the camera. Yeah, those are all hot cider donuts there. One of these left over from the Elton John collab. This is the citrine forest. Love that. So I still have quite a bit in terms of some HomeWorx candles that I can enjoy this coming fall season. So I will be enjoying those and probably trying a few new things here and there for fall as well from HomeWorx. So really excited to go from like literally owning hundreds of just HomeWorx candles to this is, I'm pretty proud of myself, I have to admit. It's been a lot of work to get through these. Honestly, when HomeWorx first debuted on QVC, I would go ham with purchasing multiple sets of 2. A lot of times he also offered trios. I would purchase multiple trios. And that is how my HomeWorx candle collection specifically just got so out of control over the years. So this feels really nice. This feels very manageable. And I'm gonna enjoy the heck out of these candles this year. We're gonna move down to the next level and a half to discuss some Cringle candles, but let me adjust the camera here and then we will take a look at what I have in this Cringle collection here. Okay, so this is the Cringle part of my collection here. I'm not going to go through all of these individually, but I will give you guys a little bit of a rundown here. So I'm going to move you just a little closer so I can reach in here. I have one of my beloved Sicilian orange candles here. I'm actually planning on enjoying that one in the coming weeks. I have one of my beloved unicorn poops left. This basically smells like Aqualina pink sugar. I've got a couple of sea breezes back there, some ice cream sandwiches. I really have a thing for the Cringle Reserve candles especially. So I've got a backup of Dalgona here. I have some macarons back here. This one I have actually yet to review, so I need to actually burn this one. I don't even know if it's still available. This is Dark as Night. We have some sweet cream. I think I have a couple of those back here. So good. I have some sprinkled, we're going to move over here, sprinkled macarons. And then we get into the, ooh, you guys, I have a thing for jelly donut. I have a real thing for jelly donut. Obviously, I don't need any more right now. But this one just comes into stock so rarely these days that usually when it does pop into stock, I will usually get 1 or 2. So that is how I have ended up with 6, 7, 8 jelly donuts. So clearly I need to start enjoying some jelly donut, but yeah, this is an obsession. So I have to be careful with it, but I am absolutely obsessed. So anyway, that is what is in this first level here. I could have probably put a few more of these Cringle candles on this shelf had I not put them in these little organizers, but I feel like it's easier for me to look through by having them in these little cardboard boxes. So I'm just going to keep them there. All right. When we move down to this lower level here, let me just make sure the camera isn't going to flop forward. To tighten this thing on the back. All right, so I have a couple of leftover fall candles that I will be enjoying this coming fall for from Cringle. We have Warm and Toasty, which is so incredibly good, as well as hot buttered rum? Yeah, hot buttered rum. These two right here are mostly my collab candle vintage pomander. I did buy all of those, by the way. Cringle doesn't like, just because it's my collab candle doesn't mean that they just like send them to me for free. I did purchase them, just so you guys are aware. But I love it. Happy to spend my money on my own candles. So anyway, I've got a number of those. I have a Bavarian Christmas, a Orem and Evergreen back there. And then this right here, so the entire bottom and then two up there, just in that top box, are all the Wishing for Christmas. I had a real thing for the Wishing for Christmas, so I did purchase a number of those. One of them is actually partially burned. I'm actually thinking about enjoying that one. It does really remind me of Christmas, but it is so beautiful, and I hate to have candles in here that are already burned, but maybe I'll just save it for this next year. But so yeah, that's it for the Cringle Candle Collection. So obviously the Cringle Candle Collection is still quite healthy, but it's not like, it's not crazy. As long as I don't get much bigger than this when it comes to Cringle, I will still feel pretty good about it. But again, I cannot outgrow this closet. So either I have to start getting rid of Scentsy warmers to make room up here, or I just got to burn more of these candles here. So it is what it is. Okay, we are now getting down to the last little section over here. So let's talk about the big Mama Jamas. This bad boy right here is the Tangerine Palazzo from, it's a 5-wick from the Elton John and Slatkin & Co collab. So excited to burn this one coming up here soon. This is my beloved California Summers from Voluspa. Just recently purchased this, and this is the Tahitian Coconut Vanilla from Voluspa. I never reviewed this one last year, so I'll be reviewing it this year. This is Laguna from Voluspa, and this is my beloved Noble Fir Garland, the Voluspa hearth candle that I've been working on now for 2 friggin' Christmases. I don't know that I'm ever going to actually finish that candle. I will at some point, but holy moly, what an investment, and what a delightful investment. I've been loving it. And then the 3 crates that I have right here behind these Voluspa candles, that is what I have left of my Bath & Body Works candle collection. So we've got some vanilla balsam in there. We have a pumpkin nut butter. There's 1 or 2 berry waffle cones in there. There might be a couple of like fall cranberry scents or something, but that's just, you know, 3 of these little crates here with Bath & Body Works candles is all that I have left from the Bath & Body Works candle collection. And overall, you guys, this is it. This is everything that I own right now in terms of candles specifically. I will not outgrow this space. That is a promise to myself. I have to hold myself accountable. It just is what it is. And I love being able to open this and know what I have, so that when I go to place an order, I'm being a lot more mindful about what I'm purchasing. So, all right, you guys, let me know where you are at, if you have been on a little bit of a candle journey yourself. I would love to know if you have reached your goals yet, or if you think you are actually within reach of your goals. I'd love to be able to cheer you on, so let us know in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys supporting me during this process. It definitely hasn't been easy, but I can assure you that it feels, oh my gosh, it feels so much better. I feel so much less overwhelmed. So I definitely encourage you to do the same if you're interested. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you being here. And here's to another fantastic year for home fragrance and trying some new stuff, as well as obviously loving the old things. All right. Thanks guys for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo.